Kelvin, nice to start with an award for the club that's been announced this morning.
Yeah, Sammy with his goal at Tranmere, I guess. No, it's good. It's a good time right now, and he's done well. You know, it's good to see him get those goals when he did, and he's such a hard-working lad. So I'm pleased for him.
Nice to have a video interview as well on the back of good form. 4 wins in a row, looking for 5 at Grimsby on Saturday, and some good performances and good results over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we've done a few of these videos in different circumstances. So it's always nice. It's great. It's a great feeling throughout the whole club. It's, you know, when you win games, it makes such a difference. So Sixfields Travel have just left the ground and got for their weekend away, and just chatting to a few of those out there, and it just changes the buzz. It changes the atmosphere, and it's good, and I think the fans are seeing some things from this group of players that Keith's got them together, and he's really they're really working hard, and the effort is there and the intensity is there, and that's what most people really want, and I'm really pleased that they've picking up the results like they have.
Yeah, it's a remarkable job from Keith and his staff. It's Keith also said it would take time to build a culture, to build a mentality, to improve things in the dressing room, and slowly but surely things have turned around, and the last few weeks some of the more nervous supporters who were looking over their shoulders are now beginning to dream of the other end of the table.
I don't think you just have to say nervous supporters. I'd say nervous chairman and everyone here. Look, there's a reality to a lot of situations, and we always try and deal in the reality. There's a fantasy and a utopia, but we like to work in the reality, and at times we got dragged back in a little bit, and you are always looking over your shoulder a bit. But I think I think at Colchester was a bit of an eye opener. The result more than the performance. I think going forward we actually look quite good at Colchester, but defensively as a unit we were certainly not the best. So. And that could have been anything it wanted to be. That, and I think after that we chatted and we talked about, myself and Keith, and talked about what we needed to do, and they've taken it and run with it really, and credit to Keith, credit to all the staff that he brought in and the existing that were there, and it's important, and credit also to everyone in here as well. It's all part of it. We always win together and lose together. So. And it's nice now that we're winning together. So, and Keith has I think we probably might have underestimated in terms of the where we were as a group of players, and as a group when Keith came in. There was definitely a lack of confidence, which was plain to see, and it was obvious to see. But how deep that was something, and he's made some changes, and this is also off the back of Crooksey and Van Veen going in the window, which concerned people, but they were strong decisions by Keith, and it helped it with the housekeeping, it helped with the budget for as we always talked about for next year, and so it's been a very good turnaround. And if you look at the form, if you look at the points, as we do, points per game and wins. You've got to give him a tremendous amount of credit so far.
And also, I guess, for manager and the chairman as well, seeing some of the new arrivals in January make their mark and help improve things. Charlie Good, the goal the other night from Joe Powell, of course, and Marvin Sodell playing up front. Nearly all the guys who've come in January have had an impact. Yeah, no, definitely, and that's important. And loan players is always an interesting subject, and we've talked about this before. And we talk about the title winning season, and people sometimes forget the amount of loan players we had in that group in the January, and the amount of players we brought in Collins and Johnny Marquis and Danny Rose, etc. But it was good. It just helped shape the group a little bit, I think, and it was great to see Powley score. That's a quality strike on Tuesday night, and that's always good to see. And he's a good character. He's a good lad, and I think it's very important what Keith's done with Simon from the recruitment perspective. Is a lot of it's about the character. Charlie, for example, coming in, breaking his nose and still wanting to play, and his focus was about playing, and he's played, done very well since then. So, and I'm not picking out anyone, because I think the whole group's been excellent. I think Keith's done a really good job in getting the group together,
getting them working together. And I think the fans are starting to really appreciate that. You know, I think this club and our supporters just enjoy seeing that sort of, you know, camaraderie within the group, the effort, the intensity, and getting after the ball and winning tackles. You know, Sam Foley, for example, made a couple of great tackles on Tuesday night. It's good to see him back, and so it's, you know, it's encouraging, very encouraging, and going into, and especially going into, you know, hopefully a positive end to this season and going into next season.
Yeah, looking at that theme of looking ahead, season tickets been on sale for a week now, and I think we're hoping for a good response. Price is frozen again, and anyone buying a season ticket will actually be buying a season ticket for a club that's in a pretty good place. Yeah,
no, definitely. I think the response has been great. You know, and off the back of, you know, and we can't get stuck in, you know, we've had a good 5, 6, 7 games, and you know, it wasn't great. It hasn't been so great at certain times over the past year or so. So, you know, it's been ups and downs for sure. And I'm pleased now that we're on a run, and that's the important part. And I think people can see that building. I think people can see that run continuing. You know, we'll have our ups and downs, and we'll win some, and we might not win some, but I think people can see that there is a plan there to compete, you know, even at the tail end of this season, but also next season. And listen, it's just nice to, you know, from where we were, it's just nice to talk to people you know, out there, and heading off to Skegness and to go for a weekend in Grimsby, and talking about, you know, make sure you don't book holidays in May, you know, because that's what it's about. You know, it's about that hope, and it's about, so, and that's what, you know, getting the season tickets out there and people buying them now, which is just fantastic.
Spent the first nearly 7 minutes of this interview talking about stuff on the pitch, which in itself is a real positive. Just off the pitch for a moment, we've often said the club's in a really good place off the pitch, and if you can marry the two together, that can only help.
And I think this is what we're seeing now. We're seeing the last, you know, what I've always said. You know, it's about the results, but you know, the club is still the club in the background. The club's still doing fantastic things. What happens when you win games is people actually pay attention to that, and people actually put that together. And it's nothing new to us from inside the club, because, you know, some of the things that are being said, and even, you know, Keith said a few things in the last couple of weeks about how it's, you know, it's the best run club he's been involved with, which is nice, because, you know, he's been involved in the game for a long time, and some good clubs, and even players. I think John Joe said something about it, and you know, and talking about contracts for next year, and etc. etc. So that's good, and you know, it leads into what we are doing, and I think it's been important over the period of time that you know, we have continued to put that message out that the club's doing well. You know, we are making progress on the stand with the council, and we are in good discussions with the council. You know, the work we do in the community, etc., etc. These are things that we've been talking about, and if you go back and look at other videos, I've been talking about. But now that we're winning, once you marry those together, it starts to, you know, the club looks very healthy.
Just finally, Kelvin, next Tuesday is the EFL Community Day of Action, a chance for all clubs to show off the community work, and obviously so much good community work goes on here at Northampton Town. That's another day, another chance to put that work into the spotlight.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's important. What we do in the community is important to us. It's important to the club. It's important to the community. And it can never be underestimated. And it's important. You know, growing up as a young coach, actually, I worked in community schemes at, you know, Palace and Charlton, and so a lot of my background is upbringing is in that, and it's important. It's just important to see the relationship that the club has out there in the community, and having the EFL Community Day. You know, we'll see a lot of stuff on Tuesday, I'm sure, but that's, you know, that's important, and it's something that we can. It helps us highlight what we're doing on a more of a national, global scale. So there's some exciting things coming.